Diabetes simply means excess sugar in the blood. When you have excess sugar in the blood, that is diabetes. Under normal circumstances, you are supposed to have a certain number of sugar in the blood, because glucose, actually, sugar is not really an enemy. You understand? Sugar is not an enemy because our body makes use of glucose as fuel. That is our body major source of energy. So your body requires glucose, but when this glucose becomes excess in the blood, it becomes a problem. Okay? And once it becomes excess in the body, automatically you can develop health conditions like heart disease, organ issues, a whole lot. And this is something we don't wish for. Now, what are the types of diabetes? We have different types of diabetes. We have the type 1 diabetes, and type 1 diabetes is an autoimmune disorder. It is also called insulin-dependent type of diabetes. So this type of diabetes is actually common in young people, in children. You know, it happens when the body immune system, your immune system is that thing in your body that is supposed to fight bacteria, that is supposed to fight viruses, that is supposed to help your body to heal. But for some certain reasons, this immune system begins to fight the pancreatic cells, which are also known as the beta cells. It begins to destroy these cells. And then once the pancreatic cells are being destroyed, automatically it affects the way the body would begin to process sugar, because the pancreas at that point in time will be producing little or no insulin. So that's the reason why people who have type 1 diabetes always need artificial insulin for life. Although I've seen cases whereby we've had some people who came in with type 1 diabetes that used our product, and miraculously, I don't know what I should say is a miracle, but they actually reversed. So I can't really say because I don't have any science to back that up, but I've seen it happen on two different patients. Then type 2 diabetes is another type of diabetes, but this type of diabetes is common in adults. Okay, and there are different things that can cause type 2 diabetes. One is either the pancreas is not really, it's not like the pancreas is not functioning, but the pancreas is just producing very little insulin. There's actually a test they call C-peptide test. That test is a test we can actually do to determine the quantity of insulin that your pancreas is producing. So that is actually one type of type 2 diabetes. Then another type of type 2 diabetes is caused by insulin resistance. I believe the majority of you might have been hearing about insulin resistance. So now what happens when you have insulin resistance? When you have insulin resistance, that is actually most of the issues people with type 2 diabetes are having. A lot of people who have type 2 diabetes don't have any problem with their pancreas. In fact, as a matter of fact, the pancreas is working. But for some certain reasons, the body cannot even make use of this insulin. So your pancreas is actually producing insulin, but your body cells are not able to make use of that insulin. So you have insulin in the blood and you still have glucose in the blood. So when this happens, your blood sugar goes up. So in cases like this where people have insulin resistance, what are you supposed to do? Look for how to reverse the insulin resistance. What is causing this insulin resistance? Simple. Fats. When you have fats surrounding you have visceral fats, which is a type of fat that is surrounding your organs. You have a lot of fats that is covering up your body cells. Mind you, insulin is like a key that needs to unlock a door so that you can gain access into that apartment. Now, when you have fats blocking the cells, it's just like you trying to get into your house and there is a lot of luggages in front of your house. What do you need to do? Look for a way to move those luggages so that you can be able to insert your key and go into your apartment. So now, when you want to reverse insulin resistance, you need to use your diet. You need to lose some weight. You will notice that when you change your diet and you begin to lose weight, automatically you will notice that your body will begin to respond to insulin. So now this is another type of diabetes. We have gestational diabetes. This is also called diabetes in pregnancy. I'm going to talk about my story. I have actually suffered from gestational diabetes. I told you my both parents had diabetes. So when I was in the university, when I was doing my BSc in Cell Biology and Genetics, that was when I learned that from the genetical point of view, myself and all my siblings, because we have both parents with diabetes, we are actually supposed to come down with the gene. But the good thing is that irrespective of if you possess the genes of coming down with diabetes or not, diabetes, type 2 diabetes is preventable. It is largely preventable through lifestyle changes, especially when you are on the right type of diet. So in my own case, I had gestational diabetes in 2008 when I had my first pregnancy. I didn't know about it. I was a novice. I didn't know anything about gestational diabetes or diabetes or anything. I was a total novice. One thing led to the other. I lost the pregnancy at 9 months. I lost the baby, and I knew what I went through. It wasn't easy for me mentally, psychologically, and all. But I told myself, that was actually one of the things that I said to myself. I was like, no, I have to go and study this thing. I don't want it to repeat. I don't want it to happen to me anymore. I don't want it to happen to anybody that I love, and that I genuinely wanted to help people overcome and beat diabetes. So now I want to talk about the importance of prevention. It is very, very important for you to learn how to prevent diabetes, because of course you should know that diabetes can affect the quality of your life. It can also have a significant impact on your finances, if you know what I'm talking about. Go and price how much insulin pen is right now. It's over 12,000 Naira for just one cartridge. It's very expensive. Go and check how much people are paying for dialysis. Go and check how much people are paying for heart issues, complications caused by diabetes. So you should understand that learning how to prevent diabetes is actually cheaper. It's actually cheaper for you than you trying to wait for diabetes to occur before you start looking for how to get solution. But the good news is that if you are here on this live and you have diabetes, whatever you're going to learn here, whatever works for prevention actually works for reversal as well. So just know this. Whatever works for preventing diabetes also works for reversing diabetes as well. So you are actually getting dual knowledge here. And I would also advise that whatever knowledge you are gaining from here, you should also learn to pass this on to your children, to your friends, to your loved ones, because the truth is that in those days, we always think that your father or your mother or your grandfather or grandmother needs to have diabetes for you to, become diabetic. But lately, the number of cases I see more of cases from people who did not even have a history of diabetes. We have a lot of cases now. Now, what are the things causing this diabetes? Lifestyle factors, the kind of lifestyle we live. You see, it's one of the things that is actually making a lot of people these days come down with diabetes. Now, let's explore how diabetes prevention can lead to a healthier and more budget-conscious lifestyle. Now, can you see this slide here? You can see, what do we have here? We have vegetables, we have fruits here. One thing you need to understand is that all these things are actually, they're all nutritious foods, and they are high in fiber. So they help you to maintain your health. Okay. Sorry, please. So please, Tosi, can you kindly help me mute? Someone is actually interrupting the live session. Thank you. All right. So now, preventing diabetes means adopting healthier habits, such as eating nutritious foods, staying active, managing stress, and getting regular checkups. Very, very important. If you want to prevent diabetes, you need to understand that you should learn to eat in a nutritious way. You need to stay active. You need to learn how to manage stress. Very, very important, most especially the stress aspect. A lot of us don't know how to manage stress, but as we go on this live, I'm going to teach you how to manage stress and how you can also stay active, how you can also pair your meals and have a nutritious food, and also the importance of getting regular checkups. Personally, I always recommend you can do if you don't have any issues with your health, you can do your checkup once or twice in a year. Once or twice in a year, you can just go to the hospital and tell them you want to run a general check. It's advisable and it's good. You can do that once or twice in a year. But if you know that you already have health issues like diabetes, high blood cholesterol, high blood pressure, and the likes, you can do twice or thrice a year. Just keep checking, okay? Now, these habits are very good because they promote overall well-being and they reduce the risk of various chronic diseases, saving you money on medical expenses. You see, that's something people do talk about. Prevention is cheaper than actually sourcing for a cure. When you already develop the habit of going for checkups, one of the things it helps you do is if there's anything coming that is about to happen in your health, early detection is actually key. Once you've been able to detect anything on time, it makes reversal very, very easy and very quick for you. Okay, now I want to talk about whole foods. I know that by now you all ought to have known that processed food is a total no. It's not good for your health because processed foods are very, very high in saturated fats. They are high in cholesterol. They don't contain fiber. All the fiber are gone already out of the foods. They don't have health benefits. So really, why would you want to eat something that would harm your health instead of healing you? Whatever it is you're eating should be something that is contributing to healing something in your body. Now, look at this picture here. Here you can see the pizza, burger, sausage, or the rishi. You can see them here. And here on this side, you can see the natural food. This is avocado here. This is cabbage, broccoli, mushrooms, onions, garlic. You see, these are the things that you should eat more of. These are the things you need to eat more of. You need to eat more of natural foods, food in their whole form. Now, one thing you need to understand is that whole foods tend to be lower in sugar and higher in fiber, which helps to balance blood sugar. When you are having a meal, whether you are diabetic or not, whether you are trying to prevent diabetes already, whether you are having high blood pressure or high blood cholesterol, the thing is that the kind of nutrition that works for A, works for B, works for C. So you are guided already. Always ensure that your meal contains more of fiber. Fiber is key. I have a slide where I'll be talking more about that. Okay. So let's go to the next slide. Now, what are examples of whole foods? Whole foods are minimally processed or unprocessed foods. These are foods that are very close to their natural state. They have all their nutrients intact, and they also offer numerous health benefits. Now, what are examples of whole foods? We have vegetables. Vegetables are whole foods. We have whole grains. I'm going to show you another slide where I listed some examples of whole grains. I listed some examples of legumes, nut seeds, lean proteins, dairy, eggs, herbs and spices, unprocessed oil, honey, mushroom. Let me talk about honey here. If you are not diabetic, you can use honey if you are not diabetic. But please, if you know that you already have diabetes, I don't recommend honey, even though it's a whole food. It's an example of a whole food. But I don't recommend honey because honey contains fructose. And the end product of fructose is still glucose. And you know, when you're already having issues with excess sugar in the blood, we are trying to consume anything that has minimal glucose, minimal sugar. Okay. So now let's talk about budget conscious healthy living. I see a lot of people say that healthy living is expensive. You know, there are so many people who will say, I can't afford to live healthy. But one thing I need them to understand is this. If you cannot afford to live healthy, can you afford to start to solve issues that have to do with complications caused by diabetes or complications caused by high blood pressure or some other ailment? So now let's take a look. When you make conscious choices to prevent diabetes, you're also making choices that are often more budget friendly. Let's look at how. I want you to take a look at this beautiful bowl of salad here. If I'm to ask you, how much do you think you can actually use to prepare this bowl of salad? What can it cost you? Now, if you ask me, if someone should ask me this question, I will say with 3,000 Naira. With 3,000 Naira, I should be able to afford to make this bowl of salad. At least with 500 Naira, you can get cabbage, you can get carrot for 300 Naira, you can get onions for 200 Naira, you can get lettuce for 500. With 3,000 Naira, you can actually make a big bowl of vegetable salad that can last you up for some days. Now, if you're to go to a restaurant to eat the same bowl, they won't even give you this size of salad. And you can tell me, how much are you going to spend actually? How much? You're going to definitely spend more than 3,000 Naira that you used in preparing this. So what you just need to understand is that when you want to live a healthy lifestyle to prevent diabetes or to prevent any other health issues, first of all, plan yourself, work on a budget. So ask yourself, how much do you spend in a week on foodstuffs? You see, and how much will it cost you to use that? What will it cost you to use that same budget now? Instead of buying your regular unhealthy food, convert that money into cooking, preparing healthy meals in your house. You see, it's even a lot better when you prepare these things at home. At least you're even sure of what you're eating, rather than going out there and you're eating things that you're not sure of. You don't even know the ingredients that they use, the added in the food, and all that. So now this is another exciting part. Please, I need you to pay attentive to this particular slide. You can see this plate here. Now, don't forget, I said fiber is king. That's what I talked about when I talked about the last slide before this. I said fiber is king. When you want to prevent diabetes, or you want to prevent any health issue, or you want to reverse diabetes, if you master the art of eating right, you have won this thing. Now, this is just the formula. Whenever you want to eat, have it at the back of your mind. Does my plate look like this? You can see, what is the job of fiber? The job of fiber is to help to prevent your body from absorbing glucose rapidly. So fiber helps to prevent blood sugar spikes. And fiber also helps to make you feel full. So when you have your meal and your plate is actually containing lots of fiber, you will feel very full. You know, in this part of the world where we come from, people are used to eating rice, for example. They will fill up their plate. This whole plate will be full of rice. When you weigh or you measure this cooked portion of rice, some people can be eating as much as 1 kg of cooked rice. And the reason why they are probably eating that way is because to them, they want to get full. Okay? But what they don't understand is that the more carbohydrate you consume, carbohydrate was not designed to be eaten in large quantity. The more carbohydrate you consume, the more stress you are giving to your pancreas. What it means is that the more carbohydrate you consume, you are telling your pancreas, please release more glucose. More insulin. Release more insulin to break down this glucose that I'm consuming. And when this happens over time, the pancreas can get so tired and it might not be able to produce enough insulin as you age. So this is actually one of the reasons why we have a lot of people who are in their 50s, 60s, 70s. I see cases like that. These are people that will tell you when they were young, they never had diabetes, but now they have diabetes now. So where the problem came from was when they were probably young. They did not know that they were supposed to actually portion their meals. So here, those who are in the Addys Diabetes Reversal Program, they know this. I always say this because when we give you meal plan, we don't restrict your diet. We give you a portion of what you're supposed to eat. So now, normally, the portion I gave to them is 150 grams of cooked rice. Let's assume now that this is 150 grams. This portion of rice here is 150 grams. On a normal day, if you eat only this small rice alone with stew, you won't feel full now. You won't feel full, but that is the job fiber is playing here. The job of fiber is to make you feel full. So when you discover, you realize that half of your plate already has fiber. Then the other half has your rice, which is your carbohydrate meal, and your protein, which can be your meat or your chicken or your fish. This is a balanced plate. So you can do vegetables, leafy vegetables like your ugu, spinach, you can do cucumber, you can do cabbage. Just ensure that half of your plate at all times is comprising of vegetables. Now, what are everyday sources of fiber? I talked about whole grain. Whole grain, what are things that contains whole grain? We have whole wheat, but I'm going to talk about wheat. Let me just list all.
I cannot see you again. No, I cannot see you again.
You can't see me? Oh my God. I think it's your network.
Okay.
I think it's your network. I'm sorry about that.
All right.
Okay. We're seeing you. It's our network.
Thank you. So here we have brown rice, we have oatmeal, we have quinoa, we have whole grain pasta, whole grain cereals. Yeah, over here I mentioned whole wheat bread, but I want, even though that wheat contains fiber and it is also a type of whole grain, but I really don't like to recommend people consuming lots of wheat. The reason is because wheat is, there's this type of protein called gluten. Wheat contains gluten. So when you eat wheat, gluten has a way of damaging people's guts, most especially for diabetics. And recently we've been seeing people who are not diabetic, but when they have a history of high consumption of wheat, it affects their gut health. And anything that will affect your gut health is not healthy for you. So this is one of the reasons why I don't personally recommend wheat or wheat products. So now, other sources of fiber are legumes. Legumes examples are lentils, chickpeas, black beans, kidney beans, peas. We also have fruits as sources of fibers too. But one thing some people do is they try to peel off the skin of fruit when they eat them. You're not supposed to peel the skin off. So you can have your apples with the skin, your pears, your berries, oranges, banana. Yes, banana is an example of a whole fruit, but you have to eat bananas with caution if you are diabetic, okay? Then examples of vegetables, which are also another everyday source of fiber. We have broccoli, We have spinach, we have carrot, kale, bell peppers, sweet potatoes, cauliflower, and okay, so starchy vegetables and non-starchy vegetables. That's a combination of what we have here. Sweet potato and carrots are examples of starchy vegetables, while these other ones are non-starchy vegetables. So when you say starchy vegetables, what we mean is that these things are actually categorized as vegetables, but because they are starchy vegetables, I don't recommend that you consume them in large quantity. So even if you want to add, sorry, my throat is really dry. So even if you want to consume them, you still have to treat them like carbohydrates. Okay? So don't eat them in large quantity. You have to apply portion control when eating them. But aside for these two, others you can eat them in large quantity. It doesn't mean anything. Like they are almost zero in carbs, so they have no effect at all on your blood sugar. Then we have nuts and seeds. We have almond nuts, chia seeds, flax seeds, sunflower seed, pumpkin seeds. These are sources of fibers. So you should understand that when you want to have your meal, always ensure that you can incorporate this into your diet. There are people that take oats, for example, they add chia seed to their oats. They add flax seed to their oats. Even your rice, you can add chia seeds, flax seeds. You can add these things to your rice, to your food. Always ensure that anything you want to eat, you need to increase the fiber content in that thing, because fiber is what will make you feel full. The carbohydrate meal in that food is not going to make you feel full. What is going to just needs to do for you is it just needs to give you energy. The energy your body needs to function. That's all. You know, you don't consume carbohydrates with the aim of making you full. Now, I want to talk about whole fruit smoothies. When you are blending fruits, okay, you should always ensure that you increase the fiber intake. There are some people who would extract fruits and they sieve out the fiber and they extract just the juice. I've said this before. When you extract fiber from fruits, what you are drinking is sugar. When you're taking in sugar, you see, fruits are actually healthy, but the way you consume them can even make them become unhealthy for you. So always ensure that when you want to have your fruits, have them in whole form. That way, you're still incorporating the fiber. You know, the sugar in the fruit wouldn't have all that spiky effect on your blood sugar because the fiber is in there. So same thing goes when you're making your smoothies as well. If you want to make smoothies, try and incorporate, because you know you're going to be blending a lot of the fruit. So even the fiber would be almost processed as well. So you can always add chia seeds, flax seeds in your smoothie. You can add psyllium husk to your smoothies too. It's just a way of making sure that the fiber content in that smoothie or in that food or in that thing you are having, you know, it's just a way of making sure that the fiber content in it is high, so that you don't experience blood sugar spikes after food. Another source of fiber is air-popped popcorn. You can have popcorn, not the one with sugar. You can toss your corn, pop it up, and have it as a snack. It is also a high fiber snack as well. We have cereals and granola. Currently in Addys Diabetes Health Store, we have a lot of these. These are fiber cereals, fiber granolas. And the way we produce ours in Addys Diabetes Health Store is not like the ones you have out there. We produce our granola and all our cereals considering blood sugar when we produce them. So we don't use things like sugar or honey or glucose. We don't use things like that when we produce our product, our cereals and granola. Then another source of fiber, like I mentioned earlier, is psyllium husk. Psyllium husk is a very powerful product. But a lot of people don't know this. Psyllium husk is fiber, it's soluble fiber. And you can actually add it to your food, you can add it to your drinks. In fact, I do tell my clients to add it to water and drink. It helps you feel fuller. When you're full, you have little or no need to eat so much, you know, so there won't be any thing like you experiencing high blood sugar after food. So always try to look for a way to incorporate psyllium husk to your meals. Then avocado is also another source of fiber. It's also another source of healthy fat. But recently we discovered that if you are trying to reverse diabetes, now I'm not talking about preventing diabetes, but for people who are diabetic already, who are trying to reverse diabetes, we don't recommend that you have avocado at night because of the calorie content. So if you want to have your avocado smoothie, or you want to just have your avocado and eat it just like that, please always make sure you have it as breakfast or lunch, not as dinner. So please accept people who are trying to come into the live. Thank you. So here we also have brown rice and red rice. Brown rice and red rice are also example of high fiber foods. Unlike your normal white rice, polished rice, that all the fiber has been removed, the brown rice, the red rice, they are very high in fiber. Personally, I even prefer red rice because red rice has more health benefits than brown rice. Red rice is high in a type of antioxidant called anthocyanin, and anthocyanin helps to prevent cancer. So that is actually one of the reasons why I like red rice. And I believe that when you're eating something, eat something not because you need to eat and put food in your tummy. Eat something that should offer you health benefits. So I prefer red rice, and we actually have both even in Addys Diabetes Health Store. So now this is another very, very important aspect: exercise. I can't stop talking about this. You see, exercise is like medicine. Exercise is medicine. And I always recommend that no matter what, try and ensure that you do a minimum of 10 minutes and a maximum of 30 minutes exercise on a daily basis. Now, any exercise that you do in the morning or in the afternoon, it's fine. But you see that one that works on blood sugar, it is that one you do at night before you sleep. So I would advise and recommend that if you want to prevent diabetes, because whatever works for prevention really works for reversal. So if you want to prevent diabetes, always ensure that you try and make this a routine. You can do your 10 minutes exercise. Now, staying active doesn't require a pricey gym membership. Simple activities like walking, jogging, exercising at home can be cost-free. Exercise has a lot of benefits. When you exercise, it helps you keep fit. It helps you lose weight because you are burning excess glucose and you're burning excess calories. So exercise is very, very important. Exercise is very, very important. Sorry, please, can you help me mute the person, please, Tosi? Thank you. So exercise is very important. When you keep fit, when you exercise, it helps you keep, oh God. Please help me mute this person. Thank you. So exercise is very good. It helps to prevent diabetes. It helps to prevent high blood pressure. It helps to bring down your blood cholesterol. It's highly beneficial. So please always ensure that you do your exercise every day. Now, there are different types of exercise. Personally, I always recommend the easiest one because I know that a lot of us might be very busy. We get tired when we are back from work. It's not really easy for you to come and start going to the gym at that time, or going to start jogging and doing all this rigorous exercise. But do you know that as little as dance, I always say this, dance is very good. It will help you with your blood sugar. You can always go to YouTube and search for Zumba dance workouts. Look for any of the videos, they join them. I do this every night. Dance for like 10 minutes minimum, 30 minutes maximum if you can, and just make this a habit every day. It will help you prevent diabetes, and it will also help you to reverse diabetes as well. Now, you need to understand that before you go into any type of exercise, ensure that that exercise is safe for you. There's some type of exercise that I see most people do these days. It's really not safe. It's not safe because it can affect their cardio health. And we don't want a situation whereby you think you are trying to keep fit, but at the same time, you are also, causing heart problem for yourself because the type of exercise you're doing is not safe for you. Okay, so you need to come up with a balance. You need to come up with a balance. You need to ensure that the exercise you're doing is efficient, and also make sure that you are enjoying that exercise. Whatever type of exercise you choose to do, whether dancing, swimming, jogging, ensure that it is something you enjoy doing so that you can, it is something you can always keep doing all the time. You won't get tired of doing it, okay? And ensure that that exercise you're doing, you're seeing results. Whatever it is you're trying to recover from, ensure that that exercise is actually doing what it's supposed to do in your body. Now, another thing I talked about before, when you want to prevent diabetes, is stress. You need to avoid stress as much as possible. And one method that you can actually use to manage stress is meditation. You need to learn how to meditate. Take a deep breath, relax. It will help your mental health and also help your physical health as well. Another very important factor here, which I have mentioned earlier, is you should always make sure you check your blood pressure and your blood sugar. You need to. It is very important so that if there's any early health issues that is trying to arise, you can catch it early. You can catch it early and work on prevention, on reversal. You can see this blood pressure monitor here is not all that expensive. I advise that you should try and get every home should actually have this monitor in their house, because one thing I noticed about high blood pressure is it doesn't really give sign. You might actually have high blood pressure and you are asymptomatic. Unlike blood sugar, for some people, when they quickly get signs, even though sometimes there's no how you will see the sign if you have high blood sugar. But most times people tend to ignore these signs, But unlike blood pressure, you might actually have high blood pressure and you won't even know. That is why we have a lot of people, we hear people slump, they went somewhere, they slumped, or something happened to them. That's because a lot of them were probably hypertensive and they didn't know that they were. So it is always very good to always check your vitals. So talking about diabetes prevention, you should note that you are making choices that are not only safeguarding your health, but also protecting your financial well-being. Okay? So I would want to use this opportunity we've been talking about the theoretical part of diabetes prevention. We need to now talk about the practical aspects, because I can talk from now till 12 midnight. I can say different things about how you should. I can talk about different things you need to do to prevent diabetes. But if we don't talk about the practical aspects, it's really wouldn't make any point. So that is the reason why I am introducing to you a course that I created called the Addys Diabetes Prevention Course. And the title of this course is The Power of Prevention, Beating Diabetes Before It Strikes. It is very, very important. It is very, very important. If you're not diabetic already, it is very important for you to learn how to beat diabetes practically. You need to learn how to beat it before it strikes. Trust me, diabetes is not cheap to manage. It is not cheap. It comes with a lot of complications. It comes with a lot of problems. And it is actually cheaper for you to prevent it than for you to live carelessly and allow diabetes to come down in your life, and then you start running helter-skelter looking for solutions, of which in most cases is actually too late. So now, I created this course because I am currently working on a campaign, and the theme of my campaign is War Against Sugar. Sugar is not supposed to be our enemy because our body makes use of this sugar, but the way a lot of people have been consuming this sugar has become a menace to our health. So that is the reason why I created this campaign. Now, in this course, I created 8 modules. And I just want to give you an insight of what Module 2 talks about. Now in Module 2, I'll be teaching you how to eat healthy to prevent diabetes. In the practical way, how to eat healthy to prevent diabetes. I'll be teaching you the role of your diet in preventing diabetes. A lot of us eat things, we don't even know the health benefit of what we are eating or the harmful effect of what we are eating. Even some food that we eat that we think that are healthy. Do you know that there's a way you can eat a healthy food and it becomes unhealthy to you? So these are factors. These are some of the things I'm going to be teaching you when you join this course. I'm going to teach you how to apply portion control. I'm not going to be restricting your diet in any way. You can actually eat anything you want to eat, but you need to understand how to apply the exact way to apply portion control so you don't develop diabetes. I'm going to be teaching you how to create a balanced plate, incorporating whole foods, fruits, vegetables, and lean protein. I'm going to be teaching you, I'm going to be giving you a list of Nigerian foods, fruits, and nuts, and their exact portion measurements that wouldn't spike up your blood sugar. I'm going to be teaching you about glycemic index and glycemic load. I'm going to be teaching you about strategies for sustaining a dietary habit and also how to create and design your own unique meal plan. Wow. Now, I know you'll be wondering, okay, before I even tell you about what, before I go to my next slide, this is not all. Aside from the course, I'm giving you a bonus. And in that bonus, I'm going to give you a pack. That pack contains our diabetes prevention tea. I'm giving you red rice, like I talked about red rice on the previous slide. I'm giving you our high fiber cereal, which is the astronaut cereal. I'm giving you a meal plan ebook. I'm going to give you videos that you can use to do your exercise routine in the morning, in the afternoon, and even at night. I'm going to be adding you to a virtual group where we'll have consulting sessions. You're going to have webinar replays of all our War Against Sugar webinar series. So is this not a very beautiful, exotic offer? Here is what the diabetes prevention pack looks like. You can see our cereal here. This is our diabetes prevention tea here. This is our red rice, and this is a complete guide to preventing diabetes ebook. These are what you're going to be getting for free as a bonus once you join this course. Now, I know you are wondering, how much is this course going to be? Is it going to cost me an arm and a leg? Is it going to cost me 500,000 Naira? Is it going to cost me 300,000 Naira, 100,000 Naira? Well, the answer is no. You're not going to pay so much money because I understand that the economic situation is not friendly at the moment. And I am genuinely interested in you getting solution because I am passionate about helping people learn how to prevent and reverse diabetes. So now, looking at the offer, the total value of everything that I am giving to you is worth 184,000 Naira when we put this up together. But guess what? You're getting this for just 37,500 Naira only. That is what you're paying to join this diabetes prevention program. And when you pay, you're going to be added to a platform where we're going to be coaching you the program is starting in November next month, because November is World Diabetes Awareness Month. So that is the reason why we are doing this in November. So if you want to join now, if you want to get started, you want to register immediately, you can click on, you can get access to any of these links here. So please kindly help me post the link, the payment link on the chat box. So if you want to pay with Paystack, you can pay with Paystack, you can pay with Flutterwaves, you can pay in dollars if you are not in Nigeria. And you can also call me or WhatsApp me on this number. If you want to get in touch with me, if you want to ask questions, or if there's anything you want to see me or talk with me personally about, you can always reach me out on this number. Okay, so this is the end of my presentation. Thank you very much. I would love to take questions. So please, if you want to ask questions, you can unmute yourself and ask your questions. Thank you. Please unmute yourself if you want to ask questions.
Hello, mommy. Good evening, ma.
Good evening, ma.
I want to appreciate you in a
Good
special.
evening.
Hello, can you hear me?
Thank you so much. I can hear you very well. I can hear you.
I want to appreciate you very, very much because, in fact, you have really changed my lifestyle. I know last time I
Thank you,
joined
ma.
and